All right, Empathic Healers, our journal prompt for the day. How does codependency affect your self-image? So in this video, I will guide you along the journaling process to check in with yourself to increase your self-awareness, assess your energy, and align with the source of unconditional love. If you're new to me, my name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of Energy Healing TV and podcast on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, and the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So welcome to the self-love movement. It is my deepest belief if we all loved ourselves enough, suicide wouldn't be a thing. For those of you who know me, you know that that's personal to me and my drive to come on here and share, right? So hopefully when you see this face, you think of self-care. When you see this face, you think of self-love. When you see this face, you think of self-worth. And you're taking some time for you to make sure you're good, right? We don't have to be perfect, but good. Okay, right? So are you ready to dig deeper? You know, I got my journal here on my lap. Grab your journals and journal with me. Today we are talking about self-image and meeting ourselves with love and compassion and Solar Plexus Chakra Energy. Hello, beautiful woman. Hello. It doesn't say who you are. Is this Rebecca? I'm just asking because you usually say beautiful lady. Thanks for coming on. I don't know why it's not showing who it is. How are you, though? Let me know for sure who it is. It is Rebecca. Perfect. Thank you. Like, I kind of thought so, but I just wanted to clarify. Thanks for hopping on here with me, girl. So if you noticed, I posted the journal prompt earlier, right, on my page and in the group. And after the fact, I noticed the typo. I'm like, I'm not even going to fix it. It's fine, right? Meet self with love and compassion. Be okay with mistakes. Take the edge off not having to be perfect, have a little laugh. It's all good. It's all fine. I thought, in a way, it's kind of funny because for image, instead of an M, it was an N. I'm like, well, we are talking about inner. Is that like a new word we just created? Image, whatever. That's just my silly brain. So how we do, let me not forget to say, if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it. And hopefully they will also see it and give themselves some love and compassion and self-care as well. So how we do our journaling, right? I literally write out, I don't know if you can see on the top of my pages, I put, it's kind of blurry, and I write with chicken scratch, energy healing lifestyle journal, self-care challenge, and I underline, so you could see in this marquee down, where's my pen at? There. Self-care, the L is capital. That's the letter we're on for today in the acronym. So L stands for love, which means meaning self-image, whether it's human as ego or highest self, meeting self with love and compassion, right? So we write that out. We're focusing on that love for self, our self-image, and the solar plexus chakra energy. And then we write that question, our journal prompt. How does codependency affect your self-image? And then we wait for the answer. We wait to see what comes up. And again, even if it's foggy or it seems out in left field, that's okay. It's how the brain gets there, right? It's just how we clear through that fog. Just let it flow. Rebecca says that was so funny. Good self-image is accepting the typo, not having to be perfect. Right? Exactly. Months ago, even years ago, I would have panicked. Like, oh my gosh. And I almost I had that initial oh, there's a typo. But just as quick as that came about, it went away. And I'm like, so what? Let's laugh, Let's make it a joke. It'll be fine. It's funny. So yeah, but it's neat to see, as we reflect on ourselves and our own growth and our own healing processes, when we just kind of ease up and we allow ourselves to be human and we give ourselves that permission, right? To make a mistake, to laugh it off, to have some humor and not have to have those high expectations and unrealistic expectations, to be fair. Sometimes I think we really do that. So when I was journaling and I asked that question, you can see I didn't write a whole lot. When I asked the question, how does codependency affect your self-image? I have a snarky side to me, right? So my little ego snarkiness popped up and was like, what self-image? And that was a point being made, right? When you feel like you lose yourself and when you feel like you've given everything away and you're focused on everybody else or everybody else's needs or trying to help or whatever it may be, when you're focused on everything outside of you, excuse me, again, feeling like you lose yourself, you don't have much of a self-image because you're not looking at yourself. You're not thinking about yourself, right? As I shared before, when I felt like a misfit and I didn't know me, like I thought I did, because it sounds silly to say, how do you not know yourself? But when you really deep dive and you're honest with yourself, and in these moments, if you have these patterns of codependency, if you've had these types of experiences, when you're just so focused on everything away from you, then what self? What self? What do you like to do, Robin? I I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Like you don't even know yourself, literally. So there is no self-image in a sense. However, then we can, depending on, or like for me, to try to get to know myself, I had this idea that I was that helper, right? Well, I'm always trying to help other people and I'm there for others and trying to see where all my efforts are at, trying to be for other people, but not really seeing how, in those same aspect of denying myself, excuse me, what that the effects that I was having on me from denying myself self care, from denying myself any type of focus to get to know who I am and what I like, allowing myself to enjoy the things that I like, denying all of those things created so much like feelings of overwhelm and anxiety and depression and just stress that is what I projected out. So in my mind, right? Remember, I talked before about the Johari window. There's just parts of self that we're not aware of. So the parts I wasn't seeing of self was projecting that anxiety and that depression and that just like inner chaos outward, right? So when you aren't allowing any of these good things for yourself, when you're not allowing yourself love, when you're not meeting yourself with love and compassion, when you're not taking care of yourself too, are we really helping others if we're projecting out anxiety and we're projecting out depression and we're projecting out overwhelm and stress and anger and resentment and blame and shame and guilt and bleh, right? We don't see it. We certainly don't do it intentionally, right? Because we intentionally want to help, especially like empathic healers, right? Like it's purpose to help others. But again, although the intention might be good, because we want to help others and we're supposed to, right? We're supposed to put others first. We're supposed to love others above and beyond ourselves, is what we're programmed and taught. I disagree. And again, let me clarify, I'm not supporting the egoic part where it's all about me and screw the world. Not that either. But when we're getting into alignment with the source of unconditional love includes everyone, right? If it's not good for all, it's not good for both, it's not in alignment with the source of unconditional love. We are responsible for ourselves, right? For our human choices, that free will and accountability. But then we have to remember that so is everyone else has that free will and accountability. So as much as like when I reflect back in my days, there was times I was trying to help people. I didn't want my stinking help. Like, right? And what was I doing trying to fix them? I didn't even know who I was in those times. So self-image with codependency is very interesting. We can deep dive in many different rabbit holes, but I'm just trying to bring about some ideas for you to look at. See what resonates with you, see what comes up with you when you ask yourself that question. And again, it's not blame, shame, and guilt. So just because I said that I could see in reflection of how I projected that icky energy out onto others, and having a realization in retrospect, right? After the fact, hindsight's 2020, of what that actually looked like. It's still not blame, shame, and guilt. It's only awareness, but it helps empower me, and hopefully helps to empower you as well, to stay mindful and checking in with yourself on this day to day, to continue this journaling process so that you are taking care of you, so that you do have an idea of who you are, right? Whether you identify as a misfit or not, whether you fit in or not, whether you have found your tribe or not, right? Like, it matters, but in a sense, it doesn't matter. In the aspect of being aware, assessing, and aligning, being aware, I try to blend all those words together, slow down. Being aware, assessing your energy, and aligning with the source of unconditional love is a process, right? Again, codependency shows up in our relationships, but it starts right here. It starts with this relationship within, with the source of unconditional love. God, source, creator, whatever name you use in your relationship. It starts here between the highest self, right, and human ego self, uniting and healing those aspects. Let's see, Rebecca, let me pull up Rebecca's comment here. She says, why can't it be all about me? Crack me up. Come on. Oh, just kidding. I also been guilty of trying to help people who don't even want help. I feel you, right? No, I love the humor. You know, I love the humor. Made me laugh before I even read the rest of it, right? Why can't it be all about me? Yeah, sure it can. But no, I hear you, right? I am too, for sure. Because it's just that desire, right? Just let me help, let me help, let me help. And then I think there's that program as well. So whatever our childhood experience was within the family dynamic, and whether that's blood family or just people you grew up around, whatever that means for you, but whatever the role is within that dynamic and how we are conditioned in that space and what that looks like and what that means, and then how we carry that on. Because I could see even in my younger years in school, I mean, I didn't have many friends in school, but the couple I had, like, I wanted to be that helper and that that helper and the fixer. So I learned at a very young age to try to become the helper and fixer. Although I don't really think I helped or fixed a whole lot. Obviously, I was a kid, right? But still, just saying that whatever we experience and how we understand it with that level of understanding as a kid, and how it gets programmed and it gets stuck, and then it just becomes habitual. It becomes that pattern. It's just something that we continuously do. And again, survival mode, right? Always looking outside of self as a way to survive. Trying to figure out, like I mentioned, feeling like that chameleon, how to shift in each different situation was a survival technique, right? So self-image, being that chameleon, they're two opposite things. I didn't have a self-image. I didn't really know me. So I'm sure the energy in my solar plexus was, I just had an image of like a big boulder. The energy is blocked, like this big boulder sitting there. Um, but we move through it, right? It's just bringing this stuff up to look at, so we know what needs our attention. I feel like that was it in the nutshell. Yeah, exactly that. Let me see what Rebecca says here. Rebecca says psychology talks about oldest child syndrome. The oldest child is always trying to take care of everyone else. I know you weren't the oldest, but you were the only girl. And I think women and daughters are also always expected to take care for everyone. Yeah, exactly. Great point. And you're right, because I remember actually in classes in school, let me put this up, get off my lap here. I might have shared this with you before, Rebecca. I'm not sure, but I'll share it here as well. We had I don't remember exactly what class it was, but it was about that, right? Which, where you are. What's the name of that, Rebecca? I don't remember. But it had to do with children, like if you're the oldest, the middle, the youngest, how many kids are in your family and what roles you take on and so on and so forth. But we had to do a class activity, so we shared characteristics. And then as a class, we had to choose, right? Like pick which one they were then, which order of the family they were in by that information. And some people, I was in small classes anyway, so a lot of people kind of already knew me to a degree. Excuse me. So we didn't really have to like say blah, blah, blah. We had a fair idea anyway. But yeah, I can remember that almost all of them had me pegged as the oldest and I was the baby. And they're like, what? Like, I didn't fit that baby role, baby meaning just the youngest child of the family. I didn't fit that role. Like, I took on the characteristics and the role of the oldest. However, that other point that you made, Rebecca, I am the only girl, though. So there are those roles also, those gender roles that happen to fall in. And that, because I'm a little bit older, right? Not saying anything, just kind of reflecting that farming community. And I've shared how confused my dad was raising me because, which cracks me up now, but it messed me up as a kid because just trying to instill those, you work hard and you're independent and all the things, but then it would flip them out because it's like, but yet you're a girl. So the girl is supposed to be home and, cleaning the house and, being dependent. So it was really hilarious. Again, that wasn't hilarious at all as a kid. It was very confusing. But now looking back and having a better understanding of it, it cracks me up. I can laugh pretty hard at it. Rebecca says, I'm the oldest child and a girl, so I'm just screwed. I got you. Not screwed though, right? Because we can move through it. We can pick and choose. Once we realize it, once we see it, we can start to. It is a challenge though, because things become automatic. And when it's automatic, you really have to stay aware so that you can see it and spot it and try to interject before, right? Because usually it's like the after the fact, like I've said before about things spewing out of my mouth. I'm like, oh, and it already came out. Like I can't back it up. I can't take it back and not say it. Like filter. But yeah, staying in observer mode, which we talk more about on what day is that? Saturdays. Yes, Saturdays. Or the third eye chakra. So thank you, Rebecca, for hopping on here with me. I do appreciate it and sharing in our conversation for today in our journaling process. And the homework, as always, continue to check in with yourself and journal and on your awareness. And if you're not already in alignment with the source of unconditional love, what is one action step you can take to get into alignment with the source of unconditional love? And again, this journaling process is one of them. Holding space for yourself, showing up with love and compassion, allowing yourself to feel, just being honest with yourself without the blame, shame, and guilt, right? Meeting yourself with love and compassion is massive, and it does help. Let me see. Rebecca says, right, it's hard to take it back, but at least we learn for future use. Absolutely. And we just keep trying, right? Again, it's not blame, shame, and guilt. We do the best we can. That's all. Rebecca says, love you big. Sleep well tonight, girl. Thank you. I love you too. And let me not forget to mention, if you have not already signed up for the Empathic Healers Masterclass, a step-by-step guide to set boundaries and protect your energy. If you want that link, let me know in the comments and I will get that to you. And also, I'm in pre-launch mode for the 5-day BU challenge, stressing that BU because like today's conversation, right? When we feel like we lose ourselves or we don't have permission to be ourselves because we're too busy catering to the people around us, codependency, right? Yeah, BU challenge where we get to clear out, break free, break loose from some of those codependency patterns and get into alignment with the source of unconditional love where we go deeper, right? I'm so excited about that. But again, if you want some information, drop it in the comments and I will get it to you. Thank you for sharing your time and space. Take good care of you. So much love. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.